Hey everybody, this is Vengeful Parrot here from Two True Reviews, and as promised, today I am bringing you that Project Spark beta video. Now, you're going to be sitting through a little bit of a loading screen here, but that gives me a little bit of time to talk about everything real quick. Here in just a bit, you can see that it's doing some updates. This game updates pretty frequently. I don't want to say daily, but at least every couple of days I notice that it has to do some updates. And that's because this is a true beta. It's not like the beta that most people are used to, where it's, kind of unfinished, but the real purpose is to stress test multiplayer servers, like the Battlefield 4 beta, the Battlefield 3 beta, the Titanfall beta, like all of those, they had some bugs and, maybe the graphics weren't as fine-tuned and everything, but the main purpose was to stress test the multiplayer servers. This is an actual beta. The game is broken, it is flawed, it is incomplete. There are sections and parts of this game that are completely locked away right now. Last time I loaded it up, the audio options were actually completely locked out of, accessibility. It is, in the truest sense, a beta. So you do have to keep that in mind as I showcase everything that this has to offer. Now, real quick, I do want to say that I am going to be trimming out some of the fat in the video, just because there are some parts that I want to show you, but in order to get to them, I have to go through some other stuff that isn't nearly as entertaining and everything, so keep that in mind. But this is probably the 7th beta that I've gotten into within the last year, at least. I've been doing a lot of game testing recently, everything from this to I was in the beta for World of Tanks on the Xbox 360. I'm in a beta right now that I can't talk about. And all that kind of stuff. I was in the beta for Elder Scrolls Online for a long time. That was fun. So yeah, but anyways, this is about Project Spark. And the first thing that I want to go ahead and get out of the way is that currently there is a pay structure to Project Spark. I'll be able to show you a little bit of it here. Now, essentially, what the beta is basically a free-to-play game with sort of like paid parts, premium parts and everything. I have no idea if the final game is going to be that way, if it's going to have like a pay-to-play aspect to it that you can unlock by grinding fervently or, by just dropping some cash and paying for some things. Like I said, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It could be that it is, but I'm not sure. As you can see here, there are things like Spark Premium. I haven't really, honestly, been able to find anywhere what Spark Premium is. Let's see. Includes 2 bonus permanent UGC upload slots. Let's see. 2x. Let's see, credit game. Okay, so essentially the Spark Premium, it gives you extra upload slots. So if you create a world and you want to upload it for everyone to experience, this will grant you extra slots. It'll also give you a 2x multiplier on your experience and credit gain bonuses. And this would obviously only be a 3-month package. Now, as you can see there's something that is listed as coming soon. I have no idea what that is. But the rest of these items are things that you can, unlock on an individual basis or in a group basis. Like the Arctic Glaciers pack will unlock everything within the Arctic biome. So if we come over here and search box, and we just type in a rock is going to be the easiest thing. Of course, it's not going to do that. Okay, that'll be a little easier to show you a little bit later on, but essentially it will come with everything within the Arctic biome. Like all of this stuff down here, you have different platforms, frozen trees, frozen arch, iceberg, crayfish, all this kind of stuff would unlock if you were to purchase the Arctic Glaciers package. And, same thing goes with Keys to the Castle, Knight's Training Camp, Zombie Outbreak, that kind of thing. They're all part of like a larger package. Or you can go in and purchase the items on an individual basis. And it does look like they have some level restrictions as well. So I'm assuming that means unless you are, level 10 for the rustic wooden table or level 5 for the stone question mark, you won't be able to place them when you're creating a world, but I don't know if that's actually how that works. I haven't been able to put a whole lot of time into this as of late, and they have added a lot of new features in. But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, essentially, as you play through the game and everything, you will complete challenges, and these challenges give you experience towards your player level, essentially, and they also let you earn, little credits, those silver little tokens. And there are a bunch of different ones that you can complete, and I do believe that they will be adding more as time goes on. But essentially the credits that you get from these challenges and that kind of thing, you can then spend on appropriate unlocks and everything as you see fit, or you can let's see, if we go into the marketplace, I should be able to get to the right screen. Let's say I wanted to buy the Arctic Glaciers. I can do it with either 20,000 little silver coin credits or 1,000 gold bars. So if I say, I want to buy it with credits, it says, hey, you don't have enough credits. Do you want to, and you don't have enough tokens, would you like to buy some tokens? So you can go to show me token offers, and as you can see, it's about, 1 per penny, essentially. As you spend more money, like once you get into the $25 and $50 mark, you do get a little bit of a bonus. It's like this is, 5,750 gold bars for $50, which you could, buy a decent amount of stuff with that much. So if you, again, I don't know if they're planning on making this a free-to-play game and then having those purchasing aspects in there. Personally, I would have preferred that they, make it a more of a like a flat, like $60 price, and then you get everything sort of thing. But I don't know, because I mean, on one hand, then you just end up with DLC later on down the road, but on the other, I don't know. I feel like they're putting kind of like a pay cap on creativity, which is never a good thing in my opinion. But whatever. So before I show you the creation tools and that kind of thing, I just want to show you the kinds of things that people have been making. Like this guy has made a, anti-smasher. That's a really odd font choice. Essentially, you have these two dots there, and you're supposed to make them collide, and then you move on to the next level. Has some decent music, actually, all things considered. It has some really weird controls. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, alright, yeah, so, I mean, you can kind of see, like, what they kind of have going on here. He's, like, trapped back in that corner. Alright, there we go. So, yeah. With these mini games and everything, you can see that people are starting to get kind of a nice grasp on the coding aspect of this game, because there is essentially a coding aspect, which I'll show you a little bit of later. I'm not too great at it, but essentially you can make all the various levels and everything. Like you can do all this different level design and all that kind of stuff, and then you can go in and code certain aspects of it. You know, you can make it so that, you know, when X object and Y object collide, there's a bright light and you transition to the next level. You can also program AI monsters for classic RPGs, that kind of stuff. You can create a lot of different things. I'm going to see if they have the audio up. No, audio is still locked down. I wish I could control that, because then I would show you the Guilty All the Same music video that they teamed up with Linkin Park for, because that music is obviously heavily copywritten. I can't really do anything with that, but they essentially made like a sort of like a side-scroller a Temple Run-esque sort of game, where, you know, you're just running along and you jump, and they say that you can, like, you know, remix the music video and everything, which is an entirely separate part of the game that I don't understand yet. Long story short, there's a lot to this game that I just don't get yet. But I'm going to be showing you some of the basics when it comes to the map editing and everything. When you enter an empty world, you start off with your lowly little player here, and on your left there you have 4 different tools, or 4 different tool sets rather, and we're going to select the add and edit props option first. Why? Because I just want to show you the coding aspect that I was talking about real quick. So if we hold down left button to select this item, you see that we have delete, edit, character studio, and brain. Character studio essentially just, oh wow, they added this in. That's neat. Character studio is something where you can add in custom animations and everything. This is actually brand new, but as you can see, since I'm sitting down and have a microphone right in front of me, right here, it's not exactly picking up properly. Let's see. Character Studio just kind of allows you to, customize the look and everything of your character. You can give mustache, beard, all that kind of stuff. You can change his clothing a little bit, but that's essentially what that is for. What we're interested in is the brain. This is where all that coding kind of stuff it comes into play. Essentially, the pre-established characters and brains are pretty well done, but there are a lot of basics. There's no way for you to initiate any sort of sprint. It's all just set run speed. If I could talk, it's all one set run speed. And sorry about that noise earlier. That was my phone that I kind of forgot to set on vibrate. It's all one set run speed and everything, which is a little, I don't want to say disappointing, but I've been trying to figure out how to make a sprint myself using the coding thing, but coding is never really been my forte. I'll show you what we can do with it by placing a new object, essentially. We're going to place a few goblins over here. What we're going to do is, with this guy, we're going to add in something where we go into sensors and we say when he sees, and we're going to say the player, we are going to make him jump. So anytime that particular goblin can see me, he's going to jump. And let's see, this particular goblin sees me. We're going to say anytime he bumps into me, he's going to... We'll make him fall. I don't know what that's going to do, but it'll be fun to find out. Alright, so we have 2 goblins in this group that are set to do something different. This guy in addition to his prefabricated brain, is going to jump when he sees me, and this one is going to fall on the ground if he touches me. So, yeah. Now, real quick, this guy, we're just going to fiddle around with a little bit. As you can see along the bottom of the screen there, we have scale and rotate options when we're holding down left button. So we can make him super big and turn him this way and everything. You want to be careful when you're messing with the X and Z rotation, because if you rotate him at all along this axis, he will essentially stay that way. So when he sees me, he will be, walking towards me like that, as if his feet are still on the ground, which is a little, I guess that makes sense, all things considered, but yeah. And this guy will also have the same health as all these little guys, just simply because I did not edit the health parameters of his brain. I'm not seeing it immediately. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about that. So we're just going to test this out to see whether or not my code works. And it should automatically plop me into this character, since his brain has been prefabbed to do so. And he can shoot fireballs. Alright, seeing that guy's jumping around. Let's see. Is the other one falling? I don't think so. Alright, so we got the guy to jump. The other one's not falling. I have no idea if that's because he's already on the ground or what. I don't know. Like I said, the whole coding thing isn't exactly my forte. Anyways, so enough about the brains and the creatures and everything. First thing I'm going to show you is just all the different tools and everything that there are for terrain building. Essentially, as you can see, there's just kind of like a plain sort of hexagonal, shiny gray texture everywhere. That is the default land texture. And that's how everything will start out as in an empty world. And there are 4 different tools for sculpting the land, and they each have 2 different functions. The first one is erode and expand, and it does just that. It will expand the land to fill your cursor, and you can choose from 3 different cursor types. There's, the cube, cylinder, and sphere. And erode does the exact same thing as expand, except opposite. And you can adjust the intensity. So let's say you want it to be, relatively instantaneous, for it to fill up, then you can. Or maybe you want it to be kind of a slow process because maybe you're fine-tuning an area of your map, then you can do it that way as well. The next tool is add and subtract, and this one is for kind of roughing out ideas. It will quite literally place just blocks of land wherever you see fit, even if they're floating in mid-air like this. And here's an actual block of land for anyone getting all nitpicky. Now, as you can see, there is a texture on this particular piece of land, and that's because the add and subtract function does work with textures. And along the bottom of the screen there, you can see all these different textures. You have an empty world, empty biome, and then temperate woodlands and free slots. Since my first, since when I was placing those, it was on this first free slot, it was using that texture. If I move it over to this one and place another, just over the top of everything, it will replace it with that texture. So you can kind of see how all of that works. The intersection plane there, that kind of yellowish square on the ground, is where everything will start if you're intersecting with the ground. So, if you're wanting to, not entirely or necessarily have that great big huge square, but you don't want to have to go through, essentially the trouble, I suppose, of resizing your cursor, then you can just, move up and down accordingly in order to get what you want. Now, the smooth and roughen tool, it works pretty much exactly how you'd expect it to. The roughen aspect will, just kind of make everything a lot more jaggedy. It will mess with the displacement. It will basically create holes and spikiness in your terrain, as you can see. It's a little easier to see over here on this plain Jane stuff. Now, you do want to be careful with this tool, because using it, you can end up potentially messing up something that you didn't intend to. And using the opposite end of this tool, the smooth tool, doesn't completely fix it. As you can see, you will still end up having holes where the holes weren't present before. It will smooth everything out so it's not as jaggedy, but there will still be holes and bumps and everything everywhere. It just kind of smooths those bumps out, so they're bumps and not necessarily spikes. However, you can get some really kind of organic looking shapes here, instead of that just sort of plain Jane cube shape. So yeah. Next up is plateau and tunnel. Now, plateau does exactly what you kind of think it might. It just flattens everything out. And this is a tool that if you start on a piece of land, you can stretch that piece of land out and make a nice little plateau-y peninsula kind of thing. It is not a tool that you can use way out in the ether. You can't just like float around and carve paths and everything. So if you wanted to do something like that, if you wanted like this to just be kind of floating out here, you would have to plateau it out and then come over to expand and just erode away the path like that. And then you have this nice little floating platform over here. So the tunnel aspect is, again, exactly what you would expect it to be. I typically like to tunnel at 100% intensity just because it is easier and a little bit smaller. Now, a quick note about the tunnel tool is that it does not work on floating land. As you can see here, I'm trying to tunnel through everything, and it's just not working out. But once I move down here to where the land is actually touching the ground, essentially, it is working just fine. We just carved a nice little tunnel through there, and you can use this to make some intricate little cave systems if you have the patience and talent to do so. You kind of have to do a little bit of guesswork sometimes, because you can't always see exactly where you are going. You go a little bit to the left here, and then straight out. So we should have a nice little tunnel kind of in here. Yep, there we go. All right, so yeah, that is that tool. And now the cubify and decubify. Again, exactly what you would expect it to be. Bleh, if I could talk. This is something that is essentially for all of the Minecraft fans out there. Which, I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that, but, like I said, I mean, it basically does exactly what you'd expect it to. It just kind of cubifies the terrain, so it looks kind of Minecrafty. It has that kind of like boxy, pixelated kind of look to it. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind with this is that it does occasionally add in geometry where it wasn't before, so that geometry will then have to be retextured. So you do need to, again, keep that in mind. Like, as you can see right there, it kind of added it in, and, even like some of that has a little bit of a texture, but it's not a full texture, so you'll have to come in and paint over that, which is the next tool I'm going to be talking about. And decubify obviously undoes all of that kind of stuff. So now the thing about the cubify texture is that you will have to go through and essentially make everything the normal way, with the appropriate tools, expand or the expand, a road, tunnel, all that kind of stuff, you'd have to make everything with that first, and then come through and cubify everything. So it can be a little bit of a burden if you're trying to go for a completely Minecraft type of feel as far as the terrain goes. Now the paint tool, like I said, is the next tool that I want to talk about, and it's next on the list just by going up, and it does exactly what you'd expect. If you have one of those free slots selected, it will paint exactly where you're wanting it to paint, and the intensity essentially affects how much of a spray paint kind of feel it has to it. So as you can see, if I just go through tapping right trigger, is sort of like a fade to the texture, whereas if I bump up the intensity and I tap, it's much less of a fade. But if you hold it down, it will eventually fill up your cursor in its entirety. And with the paint tool, you do have to go through and essentially do this one little bit at a time. You can't just kind of like go and have the paint tool use a whole bunch of different textures unless you have a pre-established biome, in which case you would want to use the biome brush, which would be like the temperate woodlands. That is part of a biome set. As you can kind of see, it's just kind of painting everything in this one texture because I'm still using the paint tool. But as soon as we move up to the biome brush, it will start using all of the different textures in the temperate woodland set, and it will also start placing vegetation. So as you can see, it's using that kind of like rocky shores sort of texture, if I could talk. And if we were to start kind of going up and everything, if we get high enough, it may even start using snow caps. I'm not entirely sure if I have any geometry that is high enough though. Maybe this stuff over here is. Yep. And it's starting to paint the snow in. Typically, any place you're going to have this kind of snowy mountain texture when using the biome brush, you will not have any vegetation growing. So if you want trees and that kind of stuff, even if they're just dead trees, you will have to go in and add them manually. Now, as you can see, I kind of passed that threshold about right here, and it went ahead and plopped a tree in on the side. Obviously, we don't want that. So if we go back down to our add and edit props, or even our multi-edit, we can actually select that tree and maybe, these two over here, and just delete them. They make using the map creator and everything very, very easy. It's a very functional and easy to use map editing system. And obviously we can just jump right in at any point in time to test things out. You guys are so annoying. I really should have put them far away. That way I don't trigger them every single time. Alright, and see, now we got this nice little, kind of cave system here that I can run through, and you are still chasing me. Alright, this is the kind of stuff that you can expect to be dealing with, and you aren't necessarily limited to this scale. Like I showed you earlier, you can make any character larger or smaller, so you can make the goblins larger or smaller, and you can also make yourself larger or smaller where appropriate. So yeah, you can make a lot of really, really neat stuff. Now, at this point, I'm going to be showing you the crossroads part of the game, and that is what is under the play option.
Of course, but what should we explore?
And what you can do is you can play community-created content, which would essentially be quests and that kind of thing that others have created, which, why don't we go ahead with links adventure down
with a
here.
masterful remix.
Or should we do Oakville and Fable? We'll go with Link's Adventure.
Great choice.
Let's see, over 30 minutes of gameplay, 10 quests, more will come. Alright, so this should be able to give you a good idea of what exactly is possible. This has a 93% approval rating and over 50,000 downloads. So it sounds like this guy really knows what he's doing. Now, as I go through this and everything, I'm probably going to be chopping it up to kind of make it short and sweet, because at this point we are already getting into quite a lengthy video, and I don't want to make it too terribly long, because then it will take forever to upload. So yeah, I may kind of skip around as I play through this, and in a while... Stomp it, fill down darkness. Your quest, kill, stomp, and save mid-roll. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I'll probably be skipping around, as mid-roll is full of evil creatures now. Do not go off on adventures without your sword. You can find it in the treasure chest right ahead. That's cool, they even colored the suit and everything green. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm probably going to skip around just to give you some of the short highlights of my gameplay experience with this. You have wide view, inventory, and quest log. Holy cow. That is awesome. Windmill. What? That is crazy. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. I have your key to visit me at the windmill. Okay. Why do you have my key? Crazy lady. Looks like that guy has a quest for me. Man, I really wish they had increased the game speed. Or not game speed, but run speed. That would have been nice. Here's a key to this chest. Link, speak with the townspeople. Some of them have quests for you. Finding key quest completed. Can you give me a golden apple from the apple tree near Death Mountain? I will reward you with a shield. It's really neat that they got the hearts in there. Give me 100 coins and I'll give you a better sword. What is this? I don't know, but let's walk. Let's see. Ooh, need teleport crystal. Okay. I don't know. Did the first guy count? Ah. We'll just say that you're number 5. Hey, don't go running away from me. Goblin Forest quest completed. A reward, 10 coins. Nice. Don't even have to go back to him. Golden apple. Woo! So I guess this is Death Mountain. Note self can't fight very well in the water. Where's this last egg? Ah, here it is. Hi there, you. Woo. Okay. Teleport crystal quest completed. Thieves quest completed. I didn't know there was a thieves quest. Okay. That's cool. I guess that's Farm Island. Yeah. It's a nice view up here. Got a nice little panorama going on. Nice. 50 coins and I'll give you a better shield. Alright, bro, I'll do that. I mean, might as well have a ridiculous shield to match my ridiculous sword. I'm assuming this is the Great Tree Island. The Great Deku Tree. Yeah, I'd say this is a great tree. Freaking huge. Its roots are thicker than my body. Crystal quest completed. Kill all goblins on Farm Island. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? Let's find all the stolen pumpkins. You can find them around trees on Farm Island. I've counted 10 missing pumpkins. Goblins are stealing my food. Can you take care of them? I think there are 7 of them on Farm Island. Okay, so kill 7 goblins, find 10 pumpkins. Really? You couldn't... Whatever. What world is that thing? Looks like some sort of, like, giant origami flower thing. Yeah, another key. Right. Looks like... Oh, nothing more? Okay. Why wasn't there one of these things over to the other island thing? That would have been super handy. Okay. Kill 10 to then try and open the chest. What if I want to open it now? No, it won't let me. Lame. Okay, fellas. It's tea time, boys! And by tea, I of course mean death. I suppose it could be tea time. You know, me drinking your blood because you're dead. How about thee, man by the tree? Chest quest completed. Wait, is it the final key? Because that'd be really nice. That way I don't have to, like, look around everywhere for the last one that I have no idea where it is. Unless it's sitting at the bottom of Lake Hyleia, then, you know. That's a pile of gold. That doesn't help me. Okay, not sure what to do now. I mean, there's supposedly an item somewhere that lets me sink to the bottom of the water, you know, like the iron boots, effectively. You know, there's a rumor that says there's an item that'll walk under... Yeah, whatever that says, because literacy. Ugh. And a golden shield, inherently worse than what I was using. You know, with it being all soft and stuff. I've never understood that about video games. They're like, oh yeah, gold is totally better than steel. What are you talking about? I don't get it. Can someone explain that to me? Like down below in the comments or something? Because I would love to hear some sort of reasoning behind all of that, because yeah, I'm clueless. I don't know why that happens. Just like walk right past it or something? Nope, it's down in the water. Because why not? Not like I need it. Really? I can open it from up here? Or can I get it? That's the real question. Okay, gonna check one more place. And if I can't find you know, these iron boot equivalents, I'm just gonna give up, because this is kind of ridiculous. Because the only thing that they even kind of use to mention these boots is that sign where it just says there's a rumor that there's an item that'll let you sink to the bottom of the water. Okay, what does the rest of that rumor say? Does it give you any hints as to where this item may be? Ugh. Anyways, like I said, gonna try one more place. And if that doesn't work, then, well, I don't know. Here, whatever. I'm hoping that maybe there's like a chest up here that I just have to like... Who are you? Were you here before? I found my magic potion. I lost it in the forest lake. Yeah, I'd love... Take this water ring. Hold down right trigger and you can walk underwater. Hey guys! I found it! That's amazing. $30 later? Good lord. I mean, seriously, come on. It shouldn't be that hard to find. Stupid goblin. Ah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so for any of you who don't know, when you're making a map, essentially there is a bottom to the water. And yeah, I just went through it. So now I'm like swimming underwater, but I'm literally under the water. Oh, bad jokes. Yep, you are. Alright. Here you go. Thank you, Link. Now that I have all my keys and whatnot, I'm good to go. Good for fighting. Yeah. Where are you, boss man? boss man. I'm breaking your boxes, boss man. Now I'm gonna be breaking your barrels, boss man. How does that make you feel? Do you feel angry, boss man? Are you frustrated with the circumstances? It's a really neat way to do the fortress. Oh, really? It's just... okay. Yeah! More money that I don't need. That's it. Ding dong. Congratulations, you saved mid-rule. Playtime 2,765 seconds. Completed all the quests and collected 318 coins. Alright, so yeah, that was fun, I guess. But, yeah, I guess you can see, you know, the type of potential that Project Spark has. I mean, clearly, this must have taken a while. And, I mean, the author says that there are more quests that are going to be coming, which is great. I mean, you know, that's, like I said, I mean, you know, the author is planning on adding in more quests and everything, which is pretty awesome. I mean, the fact that he's not done with it and he wants to keep working on it is always a good sign. I would also honestly love to see this guy do more stuff, if he hasn't already. But yeah, so I mean, this was pretty cool. You know, I got a good, what, like, you know, 2,700 seconds of enjoyment out of it. Even though a lot of that was frustration with not being able to find that water ring, but I'm sure if I had paid attention to the townspeople to begin with, then, you know, that wouldn't have been an issue. So, yeah. That is, in essence, what Project Spark is capable of. Obviously, you know, there's a lot there, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there is the crossroads portion of the game, which I'm not really going to show you, especially in comparison to the Link's Adventure. It isn't that great. Because Crossroads is basically a write-your-own-adventure kind of book. It's like, you know, what kind of land are we in? You know, is it mountains, plains, rivers? And, you know, then you pick, like, the time of day, where your starting village is, like, what type of quest it is, like, if you're looking for a person or an item or something, and then you basically just draw out the path, and it's really simple. If any of you are interested in that, then I will be more than happy to make a video about it, and just, you know, to kind of show you what exactly is going on. But, yeah, like I said, this was a lot better than I had anticipated, honestly. But that, along with, you know, that thing that I had showed you earlier, is exactly what you're going to be able to expect from Project Spark. It is coming out on Xbox One and PC. I don't believe there's a release date yet, and this was footage from the beta. Please remember that, because with, you know, it being footage from the beta, obviously, you know, some of the glitches and that kind of thing that I experienced may not actually end up happening in the final game. So that's always a good thing to kind of keep in mind. Again, if any of you are interested in more Project Spark gameplay footage and that kind of thing, send me a message. I will be more than happy to, you know, take that into consideration, work it into my schedule, all that kind of stuff. I had fun with this. I'm not too much the creative type when it comes to making maps and that kind of thing, and I definitely have trouble wrapping my mind around, the creation of quests and that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, if you're at all interested in any more of this, like I said, send me a message, comment below, something like that. I had tons of fun with this. If you have a PC or an Xbox One, I definitely recommend going out and trying to get into the beta and playing this, because it is loads of fun, and I can't wait until the final game actually comes out, because the level of creativity and everything is just going to explode at that point. I know that there aren't necessarily a lot of things going for the X1 at this point. However, I really feel like this is one of them. I feel like this is something that is going to kind of change a lot of people's minds, when it comes to their opinions about this console. So yeah, I believe that is about it when it comes to the Project Spark footage. If you have any questions about it, drop them below. I may make another video, kind of depending on feedback and that kind of thing. In the meantime, this is Vengeful Parrot, signing off.